Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello, guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have the trending news here for you, and the headline of the news read: Is Shehu Sani the next Sowore as he cries out in EFCC custody? Says, I will speak louder. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, I'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. Alright, let's look at the news in detail. The former Kaduna senator and civil rights activist, Senator Shehu Sani, who has been in detention since the past 2 weeks, has described the bribery allegation against him as porous and an attempt to dent his name at all costs. Sani, who personally sent a statement on Thursday, insisted that he has been incarcerated using a Kaduna-based automobile businessman as a result of criticism of the current government. He vowed to speak louder when he comes out alive. And in the statement that he sent, he wrote, "The allegation of extortion against me is baseless, factless, unfounded, and hollow. It is a scripted stream of mischievous concoction and utter fabrication using a puppet state agent, all aimed at splashing feces and mud on me. The extortion allegation is nothing but a wholesale falsehood packaged in a phantom anti-craft facade to tempt, stain, and mute me. That shall never happen if I am alive. I have made my statement and provided all the facts against their package of lies, and I demand the EFCC to make public all the sheet of our statement and supported documents for the world to see. My detention is unfair, unjust, prearranged, and politically motivated. Alhaji Sani Dauda and his hidden sponsors have not been able to provide any proof of the allegation. I am justly incarcerated on the grounds of an arranged two-page petition backed with no evidential or documentary proof. Fascism strive in frame up of its critics. They claim extortion, and here they are, closing my bank account, searching my houses and offices, and demanding that I declare my asset, of which I have already done that at the CCB, that's conduct of CCB, that's last year when I left the Senate. Frame up cannot silence me. I have never ever made with the CGN, that's Chief Justice of Nigeria, or any judge or judges, or even call directly or indirectly to offer to give, or to give directly or indirectly any form of gratification from Alhaji Sani Dauda. I have never ever discussed with ASD motto on any form of bribe or gratification to be given to any judge or any EFCC official. The bribe story is phantom. The bribe story is a fake, imaginative work of fiction clearly crafted to smear me, to frame me, and to justify my persecution. The bribe story is a heap of blatant lies, falsehood concocted and fabricated using a front and the EFCC to premiere a state drama. ASD is barely educated front for a state mission. Criminalizing me or framing me will not silence me, bend me, or compromise me. Those were the words of Shehu from the detention of EFCC, and this has triggered a lot of reactions from Nigeria. But first of all, I want us to consider what SERAP had to say about the detention of this young man. And it's really disheartening that this is happening to him, because we least expected him to stay there for as long as now, onto the fact that Sowore's case was almost like this. It turned out to be something that even the international bodies had to show interest, had to scream, had to shout, had to say a lot about it. But all the same, let's look at some of the reactions of Nigerians about this issue. And the first person here says, and I quote, "All these are works of Buhari and his children, and his own children will still suffer for all what he has been doing. I am truly disappointed. This is not government that I love so much. I am weak. Another person say here, only God will deliver us, this APC military government. People are dying from many fronts and you are chasing about children and women in the street. Tactless, directionless and aimless APC Buhari government. Another person says here, all those who are part of the lies and propaganda haul at President Jonathan just because you want him out will face and taste a bit of your concoction before the end of this administration. That's the only way you will receive the reward of your smear campaign against the ex-president. Next time, everyone will think twice before destroying his fellow human being with cooked up stories. And the last one we are going to consider is, this one says here, I have always suspected that the senator might be framed up owing to his criticism of government of the day, but truth will always triumph over evil, no matter how long it takes. All right, we're going to be looking at what the SERAP had to say when this issue was pending. SERAP is the issue, Economic Rights and Accountability Projects. And they had to speak concerning this issue as they demanded that EFCC should release this guy, He said EFCC, according to them, they said EFCC should immediately release activist Shehu Sani, detained on allegation of extortion, or charge him with recognizable criminal offense. By prolonging his detention without charge or trial, Mr. Sani is being treated like a convicted criminal in violation of national and international law. The continued detention of Mr. Sani without charge is against the principle of being innocent until proven guilty. Now, these are some of the things that we want to discuss. And I want to start with the fact that the case of, that's the man in charge of legality in Nigeria keeps quiet, allowing the case of, Sowore to repeat itself again. Fairly recently, we just recovered from this issue. And we were believing that Nigerians have learned from it. The current government have learned from it. Holding one down without trying the person, without taking the case to court, it's absolutely working against the international law of human rights. It's working against even our own constitution. If this guy has been arrested and he has written his own statement clearly stating what he did, and the other person, the other party, I'm talking about Sani Dauda, who is the owner of ACD Motors, has also written his own statement. It's for you guys to sit down, analyze it within a short period of time, at least before these 2 weeks is over. You sit down, analyze it and say, okay, this is it, you are guilty of this, and charge the person to court. Allow him to be coming from his home to court than just holding one captive like that when you don't even have a documented and evidential proof that he is guilty as written against. He's been the person said, oh, he collected money from me, gave to EFCC, gave to these people. Where are the proof? Going as far as closing his bank account according to Sani Shehu. Because personally, I don't think that is possible. How can you just wake up and place a demand to close down one's account as pay, waiting on chop? Well, how much has he eaten that you have to, go as far as placing or closing his own account, going into his house and be searching his house, searching his office? Is it that there's a criminal thing that is in his house? Was that the report? Extortion is something that can be traced based on, as far as it is financial. It's a case of, okay, check his account. Did you issue it in form of transfer to his account? And if there were no transfers into his account and you track his calls to possibly to the people that they link him to, that they say he has made with the CGN, Chief Justice of Nigeria, and some other judges, go to MTN or whatever it is he's using, track his calls to see if he has done that. And if you see anything, okay, Oga, you are guilty, take him to court. From there, issues are ironed out, and also allowing this issue of Sowore to keep repeating itself, putting him in detention as long as now. You want to also make this one a champion. You want him to also be in the list of celebrity. Fairly recently, I heard he has also been earmarked as one of the prisoners of conscience. And this will keep going on and on and on. Let's grow beyond this level. Yeah, we are practicing a cradle democracy, a baby-like democracy. But I believe that even a baby, at the time you realize that he's growing and making progress. That is how it ought to be. Let's grow beyond this thing, because it's absolutely not a good one for Nigeria.
I could still remember very recently, during this whole saga, when this whole thing began, the son of El-Rufai said he was actually trained to destroy enemies. That was when this whole thing began. He quickly had to take it down. Trust bloggers, they were able to screenshot his statement, and he couldn't deny it anyway. Now, is this the enemy he was actually referring to? Could this just putting permutation and reactions here? Could this possibly be the destruction he's talking about? Now, if Shehu Sani has said, look, these are my proofs, and CJN even said the other time that he has never seen Shehu Sani before in his life. He has never had anything to do with him. He has never talked to him before. They've never had any contact before. And that also, matches with the same statement that Shehu Sani has said now, that he has never seen CJN Danko before. They have never had anything to do together before. And, he begins to ram. If you say you gave him money, you have told EFCC that you have given him some amount of money. Today it was $10,000, tomorrow it was $20,000, that's it, 25. The money keeps changing, it's not even static. And now, if there was a transfer, or you have given him, you mentioned, is it via transfer? Is it hard currency? Is it did you give him by hand? If you give him by hand, is it in your office? Is it in his house? These are things we should know. And if Shehu Sani have said, look, this is what happened, release me by right, by law, max 72 hours. Why are you still keeping him under detention? And if you don't have any tangible evidence against him, let him go, or you charge him to court. What is all this process? I thought the first one with Sowore was probably an oversight. Obviously, it has become a lifestyle that the present day government likes the idea of always trying to oppress and infringe on human rights of Nigerians, an average Nigerian. Imagine if a man of this caliber, Shehu Sani, is being kept, without any form of charges against him, to charge him to court. What with an ordinary Nigerian? What would be the case of an ordinary Nigerian who have no kobo, who have no naira to back up his claim? That is a serious issue. And Malami, up till now, I expected that the Minister of the Federation, Justice of Federation, Malami, would have reacted to this and say, look, we have gone through the issue of a backlash of the issue of Sowore. We shouldn't do this. Let's get this right. Let's get this done. Let's do it the proper way. Let's do it the way the law stipulates. If we don't have evidence yet against him, and whatever proofs that the Dauda man has brought is not concretized, is not concrete enough to slam charges against Shehu Sani, then he should be let. They should let him go until concrete proof comes in. But this begins to make it look as if, is there more to this? Is it because Shehu Sani has always been criticizing the government of the day, and before you know it, you begin to make, very soon Shehu Sani will become a star. Very, very soon. They always have a way of making people stars. The other time it was what's his name again? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu became a star. Everybody knew Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by default of what is happening. Before you say who goes there, Sowore. So if you want to be a star, just stand up, criticize the government of the day, make it loud, go to your Twitter page, go to your Instagram page, your Facebook, keep criticizing. It's a matter of time, they'll pick you up, you become a star. It's becoming so predictable, really. And before you know it, but my own case, if you go and pick up, if you decide to do that and you don't have international bodies like Sowore to guide you, you will just rot in jail, or your will be your name. So it's a case of those who are, but that's on the lighter note. But on a more serious note, this is not nice, really. If he has not been found guilty and there's no allegation strong enough to keep him there, it's against his human right. You shouldn't keep him there. 2 weeks, that's a long time, really. They should stop this. It's no more interesting.
All right, thank you very much. That's where we're going to leave it. Go to our comment section. Let us interact. What do you think is the fate of this young man, Shehu Sani, now that he's already crying out from EFCC detention?